You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Sunday the 19th of January 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer who has totally failed to do some writing today. I really wanted to. I don't know, I've failed. I think part of the problem was I was worrying about something which is not a health thing, it's nothing to do with work or anything like that. It was just something I should have done and there's a deadline looming and I was like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But just the mere fact of not having done it was starting to stress me out a little bit. So I finally got off my bottom and did it this evening. And actually, it took a couple of hours, but it was no big deal. And there is only one bit of information I need about where to put some of the numbers. But basically it's done. I just need to make a phone call tomorrow to just double check one thing. And then it's done. And suddenly I'm not stressed again. So maybe I'll get some writing done tomorrow. I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for finishing this chapter on the 23rd, given that I only have, well, that's 4 days left, 20th, 21st, 22nd and 23rd. But bearing in mind I need the last 2 days to actually do the writing, the editing. But it's not a hopeless cause because I'm feeling a lot more upbeat. Not enough to actually do any writing tonight because I'm quite tired and a bit stressed. But yeah, hopefully I'll get something done tomorrow. It's only been a couple of days where I haven't, well, 3. And I was so productive, so like for a period of about a week. And it'd be nice to get back into it. And what's quite nice is now I'm not worrying about the other thing. I'm starting to think about scenes and things that need to happen and bits and pieces. So I think I'm going to try and do what I should have done today. Because today I said I was going to go off somewhere and get some writing done somewhere. And then last night, once again, my sleeping was absolutely horrendous. I kept waking up, although I haven't felt really anxious today. Well, I did, but it was about the specific thing and not the general anxiety that seems to knock me for 6 quite regularly at the moment. They might be linked, I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, so I didn't get up very early, so I didn't go into town, and then I considered going into there's a coffee shop in town. I considered going in this evening because it opened till 8 o'clock, and I should have done, but then I'd kind of decided I should sort out this this thing that I've alluded to earlier. So that's good in a way. Hopefully I'll do something tomorrow. The other thing I have done today is I've been building a Lego model, and I basically did most of the big second box of the Jabba the Hutt sail barge. And I've heard a couple of people refer to the model quite derogatorily, like calling it the giant slipper and stuff like that. And I have to say, if the model was just of the exterior of the thing, it would be quite disappointing. But actually you open it up and okay, it's not to any kind of scale, but inside you've got a little kitchen, you've got a little cell, and you've got the room where the barge is controlled from, and you've got Jabba's room complete with a little blue musician with his weird keyboard thing, and then you've got the top bit with the sail barges, and I quite like it. Actually, the only thing that disappointed me a little bit was it didn't have Han Solo or Chewbacca or any of that lot. So I think I might have mentioned this before. Once I realised it didn't have those figures in, I then ordered the Sarlacc pit set, which has got a little skimmer that actually looks like it should go with the sail barge set. So I put them next to each other. So that's done. And whilst I was actually building it, I watched an absolute ton of Blake's 7 episodes, first season. I bought them on Blu-ray a little while ago, and just haven't got round to watching them. Well, I'd watched a few here and there, but I watched a load today, so I've only got 3 episodes left, which is the final disc. And then I can move on to something else, because there are a few other things I want to watch. For example, it's crossed my mind that with the recent sort of death of David Lynch, I've been planning to rewatch Twin Peaks. It's even down in my living room in my to watch pile, but I think it might get bumped to the top of that pile as a sort of tribute to David Lynch, and also because I've been meaning to watch it for ages. And I've got the original 2 seasons from the 90s when it was first broadcast. I might have the movie Fire Walk With Me. I'm not sure if that's in the box set. I might have a look, actually. But even if it isn't, then the other thing I've got is they did a... I think it was in 2018, certainly much more recently, they did a 3rd season. They did an 18 part event thing with any of the original cast that was still alive. So I'm assuming that gave it a definitive ending. We shall see, because I shall watch it all at some point. But yeah. So yes, a bit of a weird day. There was one particular piece of paper I needed to find with some very specific numbers on it that it took me a little while to find, and that stressed me out a little bit. But once I found them, I was very, very happy. So yeah, so my plan for tomorrow, make that phone call to work out which numbers go into which column. It's probably really obvious what I'm doing, but I won't say it because I should have done it ages ago. So yeah, just got to do that, and then maybe get some writing done. And I think maybe an afternoon evening session would be quite good because, like I say, the coffee shop closes at 8 o'clock. So I could actually go in and do some work in the evening. And I could even get back on track because I know what I need to write. It's just a case of getting it down on paper or on laptop. Anyway, so a bit of an excusey, pathetic sort of waffle today. The only other thing I have done today, which I'm quite pleased with, is I had a SoundCloud account that had all my old songs and stuff on it, but it was on an old email address that I didn't have access to. Well, I managed to regain access to that email address, and I've therefore changed the SoundCloud account so it ties in with Richard A. Boxall and all of this. So, in fact, it is now on the link tree that you will find at the end of this podcast. And I wouldn't go and listen to them, particularly the older ones, because there's some absolute crap on there. But it has got a song that I recently adjusted. In fact, I've done a blog article about it today with a link to the thing. So it's a song that I wrote. It was a kind of an unrequited love song about my friend. And I wrote it before she died, but I kind of did another version after she died with some additional little lyrics that I borrowed from a song called Paninaro 95 by Pet Shop Boys. It's a little lament about presumably a lost love that was not in the original Paninaro song, and it's just a lovely... It kind of said what I wanted to say without me having to write it myself, so I borrowed those Pet Shop Boys lyrics and put them at the end of this song called Not at Home, which I'm very proud of. So it's there. If you go and look at my blog, it's the latest article today. I've also finally got around to doing something with my Substack, which is basically the same. Also, my UK artists chart came out today, the other podcast, so that's available. And if you go to Substack, the chart listing and indeed that countdown is available to listen to on there, or it's also available as the podcast. I could go on, but I won't because I'm already nearly 8 minutes in and you want to go and have a cup of tea or something, don't you? Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.